Right now to talk more about this is National Economic Council Director Larry Kudlow. Larry, it's great to have you this morning. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you, Maria. Appreciate it.
I want to get your reaction to these jobless claims this morning. And the last time we spoke, you said that you were going to, you and your team were going to reassess where we are because initially you were looking for a 20% second half in terms of growth. Where are we today, Larry?
Well, it's still 20% second half. Still in the V-shaped recovery camp. The jobless claims today, initial claims off a bit. The 4-week average, smooth average, which is what people tend to look at, continues to decline. I don't know, it's the 15th or 16th straight months. Continuing claims, which may be more important for unemployment, actually fell a huge 1.1 million. So I don't see any breaking of the downward trend for unemployment and the upward trend for job creation. We're reasonably optimistic about July. I do want to say, though, in general, when you look at the whole panoply of economic series and data, you've basically got a housing boom going on. There's an automobile boom, both sales and production going on. Manufacturing is surging from the ISM reports that you can see, including the regional Federal Reserve Bank reports. And that's a pretty good mix. Retail sales are very strong, and business applications are strong. I know we have an issue here, which we've talked about, and it's hard to predict, but the Southwest problems, the flare-ups of the virus in the Southwest are still difficult. There are some modest signs of improvement. For example, Arizona has flattened out considerably. Still trouble in Texas and California, and I will acknowledge large trouble in the Miami-Dade County, Florida area. But all that said, I don't see any evidence yet. Maybe there'll be a moderation of the numbers in July, but I don't see any evidence of economic harm. I'm just looking at these key sectors that are booming. I would add to that, by the way, inventories at rock bottom. So I still think we're in a self-sustaining recovery.
Yeah, we're looking at a market that is giving up much of the rally this morning, struggling to hold on to gains on the heels of these numbers. And you're looking at Washington, the White House, yourself included, obviously, with Congress trying to come up with new ideas for the next coronavirus relief program. What about these unemployed Americans, the unemployment benefits expiring next week, Larry? Republican aides say that a 2-month extension of the unemployment and aid expansion is being considered. Do you want to see that?
No, White House is not there yet. The president's not there yet. We know there's expiration. We suggest that we make a deal as promptly as possible. We do not wish to extend the unemployment benefits of the $600 federal plus-up simply because basic economics show that if the benefits are significantly higher than the wages, people are not going to go back to work. And we don't want to pay them not to work. We want to get them back to work. In fact, the mantra that we're talking with Senator Mitch McConnell and the leadership is, kids and jobs, kids and jobs. Now, we have decided and agreed to a significant boost in education funding, half of it on a per pupil basis, half of it going to safety reopening measures, because we very, very much want schools to reopen, and which is healthier and safer for the kids in school, according to a number of experts. We would like to change unemployment to roughly a cap of 70% of wages, and on top of that, we have incentives. We're going to put a reemployment bonus or tax credit on of a significant amount. And don't forget, the president still supports the payroll tax cut, payroll tax holiday, which would plus up after-tax wages by roughly 7.5%. That's an inducement to come back to work. If you tax employment less, you'll get more employment. And that's the goal here, kids and jobs.
Well, Larry, what about doing middle of the ground in terms of the unemployment benefits? Are you considering half of that number, $300, or some form of the unemployment benefit to extend, but not the full $600?
Well, I'm not going to negotiate this on air, much as I might like to. You and I could probably solve this in a nanosecond, but we're not going to negotiate this morning. I will add to this, though. I mean, I think we're going to come to agreement, frankly, and we'll see if the Democrats want to abide by that agreement. I think that's coming. I'm always the optimist. I will add liability protection, you know, for small businesses, for schools, for hospitals, for health care, and so forth. That's a key element of this package. I don't know why Democrats are opposed to it. It makes a lot of sense. We don't want the trial bar to block economic recovery and folks going back to work, or folks, you know, kids going back to school. So that's another key part of the program. Senator McConnell insists on it, and President Trump wholly agrees.
Yeah, let me ask you about growth and where it comes from, Larry. I know some industries are going to see real structural change. What do you think will be the growth industries that will take us out of that, that will lead to that 20% second half?
Well, you know, not being an expert in all those matters, but I would suggest this. Pharmaceuticals, medicines, therapies, vaccines, and technology. Biotechnology is going to be one. You know, right now, I was at the virus task force meeting yesterday afternoon for Vice President Pence and his group. They're increasingly optimistic about vaccines. And in at least one case, there's, I think, 3 leading cases. At least one of them is going into phase 3 testing. There may be another one. I'm not sure. I'm not an expert there. But we're really moving at warp speed. Nobody's ever seen development of a new vaccine at this speed. And I think, you know, in terms of future industries, Maria, whether it's therapies, medicines, vaccines, and related matters, all kinds of equipment and so forth, hospital equipment and improvements, I think that's going to be a very great, I mean, it always has been. America has the #1 pharmaceutical biotech by far. So I think that's going to be there. And I think all things technology, you know, that's what the stock market's been telling you. You've got this gigantic, we're up 45% from the lows of last March. I think the S&P, I know the NASDAQ is already in plus column for year to date. So I like tech and biotech. You know, that's where I think the future goes. But, let me just add, because of our trade deals, particularly the USMCA, but also the China trade deals, I believe manufacturing is going to have a tremendous comeback. I think we've already seen that in some of the numbers.
Yeah.
And I think our great farming sector, our agriculture sector, is going to show a big comeback. So I'm optimistic about the American economy. Low taxes, deregulation, fair and reciprocal trade deals, energy independence. The president will build on those successes that he had for 3.5 years into his second term, and I think it's going to be a booster for the entire economy. I'm looking for a strong second half and a good 2021.
Larry, you mentioned the money being considered in terms of this next relief package. I know the president has talked a lot about testing. There is going to be money allocated for testing, correct? And let me ask you, if you're not getting to some of the things that you want to get to in this package, will there be a 5th relief package?
Well, that's a very good point. And, you know, I don't want to forecast the legislative process, but I think if it turns out, look, the target here, as you know, is about $1 trillion. If that is insufficient for some reason, all right, perhaps the pandemic continues to flare up. We're going to put in more PPP money, payroll protection money for small businesses, I think you probably know. But we can come back and pass additional funding. I mean, we've set up a terrific infrastructure for that between the SBA and the Treasury and the Federal Reserve and other agencies. So we can get that done if we need to get it done. But let me just say, my mantra here is so darn important. If you want the economy to reopen, if you want kids to go back to school, if you want folks to go back to work and create new employment, new jobs, and lower the unemployment rate, the 4 major points, Maria: masking, distancing, testing, and good, clean hygiene, all right? It's so simple to me.
Yeah.
You've heard the president say this in his recent press conferences. Everybody is on board. Masking, Distancing, testing, and good personal hygiene will keep the virus down, allow folks to go back to work, allow kids to go back to school. That is the key. We are going to keep up our pro-market supply-side economic policies to liberate business and reward success. That's the president's pledge.
All right, we will leave it there. Larry, it's great to see you this morning. Thanks so much.